Hello! Today we are going to ink our whimsical baby bird and get it ready to watercolor. You will need, of course, your drawing of the baby bird, which you will find in our Drawing a Whimsical Baby Bird. You will need a waterproof ink pen. And actually, the easiest ones to find are Sharpies, and I have an ultra fine point Sharpie. Now there are several others that work just fine for this, but usually you might have to look in maybe an office store or an art store for those. And an eraser. You will probably still need to erase some stray lines before you're ready to paint. So let's get to inking. Now what we're doing right now is fairly simple inking because we are just, learning, and we don't need intricate inking to watercolor over this. So we're just going to start somewhere and we're going to trace over our pencil lines. Now, if you do not follow the pencil line perfectly, don't worry. It's the ink line that stays. And you can erase that pencil line under there and you'll never know it was there. But carefully, just follow your drawing around. And I find it helps me to move my paper as I work. And then I can do more of a pull on my ink. Because the problem with this stage is when the ink goes down, that ink is going to stay. So you do need to be fairly careful. Now this inking we're doing today is just a single line inking. We're not doing any shadows or anything like that. We will fill in on the eye, I think, a little bit. But other than that, it's just a fun job of tracing. Now, one thing to note, as you pick your lines, ink can smear. So as you work, see now, notice I did these. I really should have started up here where my hand won't come over it. If you're left-handed, you need to start in this corner and just work over. That way you're not rubbing as you ink. Now, I started here and I still have to do this. I'm going to be very careful, or just turn my paper so that my hand doesn't rub over the ink until it's totally dry. Now this ink, I find it's hard to smudge good old Sharpie ink. But if you're using different kinds of ink, they can smudge very easy. So just get in the habit of keeping that back part of your hand off the ink until it's nice and dry. And it doesn't take long for them to dry either. It's a good habit to get into for all of your art, to keep your hands away from it. So, I'm going to speed this video up a little bit so you don't have to sit here forever watching me ink. And then we'll get this finished up and we will be ready to paint, which there will be a video to show you how to paint this cute little bird in watercolor. Okay, while I'm here, I'm going to fill in the dark part of the bird's eye because the watercolor set I'm using is a very inexpensive set. You may not have the best of a black. My set has a good gray, but not a fantastic black. So if I want a nice dark black, I try to go ahead and add that in with my pen. Now you may have a nice set of watercolors, and if it has a nice black in it, you can wait to add that eye in there. I think that is it. That's it with the ink. Now, we need to give it a little bit of dry time, maybe blow it off a little bit, and run our eraser over one more time to get rid of our pencil lines that we just traced over, because they will still be showing in quite a few places. So we always need that eraser, it seems like, regardless. You need to have patience with this inking part. And sometimes when we get a little uptight about doing something, or we don't feel like we can make a good line, we tend to rush instead of just slow down and taking it nice and slowly and being precise with our lines. All right, we're about there. We are going to make our watercolor video next, so you may want to tune into that and see how to watercolor this little guy. Now I like my handy dandy brush here to sweep away on my eraser crumbs here. Alright, and we have this lined, ready for our painting. So I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.